everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy and I'm a full-time reseller. On today's video, I do have another what sold video. This will be for, March 17th through the 23rd. I did have sales on all 4 platforms: eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Depop. Looking at my notes, I didn't really write too much down. Mercari, 2 sales. I've been saying that for the past couple months maybe now. It's been pretty slow over there. Poshmark picked up a little bit with 14. eBay came in at 16, and then Depop came in at 12, which was really good. I think they were all, there were a couple that were over 20, so that's great. I would say my average sale price on Depop is probably, I'm sure I could go and look and figure it out, but if I just had to guess, probably between like 15 to 22. Most of that stuff is coming from the bins. If I would pay up for something that I'm going to be putting, a higher price point on, so I am fine with those items moving quicker, just because they tend to be more trendy, and trends can come and go, so the faster those go out, the better. Okay, so we will start with Poshmark. First up is a pair of Old Navy pants. These were a pair of pull-on, were they flares? No, they were wide legs, a large, tall. They were new with tags. These came from Goodwill on $1.99 day, and they did go for $30. Next up is Primo or Primo. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. It's a golf brand. I found this brand maybe a couple months ago. I felt it at the thrift store when I was going through the men's pants. That's kind of how I go through it. I don't know too many men's pants brands, so I kind of go by feel. If it's something that feels like Lululemon, it feels like it could be, something substantial, I'll look it up. So these did have a Lululemon feel to them. When I found out about the brand a few months ago, there were a couple, so that was kind of also like a thing where I was like, oh, I should look into this. This I actually got at the bins. It was only a size 28, but there are a lot of high school boys that golf, so I figured, for bins pricing, I might as well get them. They did go for $28 in probably under 3 weeks. Next is a Hello Kitty Strawberry Milk Girls collab. I think that's all part of it. I'm not really sure. I don't know too much about, I'm assuming this is some sort of anime. I don't know. It was a button front, size large. This was also picked up at the bins. Most Hello Kitty I will get just because it moves. There's always going to be somebody looking for Hello Kitty. That is just a very known character that people are looking for, and this did go for $17. These were a pair of Athleta pants. I think these came in a thread-up box probably like 2 years ago now at this point. These were a skinny, a size 10. They were like a light khaki. I've had some interest on these, but not very much. When somebody offered me $35, or this might have been my full asking price actually at this point, I was like, yes, please, they need to go. Athleta has really kind of turned into a brand that I need to look up the styles. Before, it used to be like, Athleta, yes, we get it, as long as the price is low enough for me to be able to flip it. Now I really need to look at the style and the size. Another pair of Old Navy pants. These were linen cropped, size extra, extra large. These were also new with tags. Linen pants are moving. People are ready to be in spring and summer. So these did end up going for $24. This came from the bins. I was kind of testing out this style. This is definitely kind of like a Bella Swan, Elena Gilbert type look. I did use keywords like romantic, floral, lace, baby doll. Like I said, this was picked up at the bins, and someone did pay $22 for this shirt. This was Sea Wonder. This was kind of like a more mature style brand. I wanted to see if it would go or not. I've had it for quite a while. I don't think I'd pick it up again. It's just that really traditional quilted, looking jacket. It was a size medium. This did go to my consignment booth that I had quite a while ago, and no one bought it there either. So it did finally go for $20. This is a Patagonia dress. I picked this up at the bins not that long ago. It was an extra large, which was nice. Just kind of like an athletic outdoor type dress, and this one did go for $23. This is the first time I found Quince, and it was in an actual Goodwill, not the bins. All skirts are $4.99 at my local Goodwill unless it's in the boutique section. I saw it was Quince, and I was like, oh man, the size isn't on it. So I looked all over for the other tags, and thankfully it gave me the size and the style name of the skirt. So that was nice. I did actually just find another item from Quince. It's like a pair of pull-on black pants at the bins. So I don't know if we're like getting to the point now where Quince has kind of, made its rounds and people are now donating the stuff, but this was the first time I found it, and it did go for my full asking price of $25. This is Kato. This was picked up at the bins. Another maxi skirt pull-on. This was a bigger size, 18 to 20W. What was the print? Kind of like a paisley print, and this did go for $17. This is a pair of express black pants. I wish I would have known earlier in my reselling career that these are pretty popular. I'm assuming that they always are, just because I've heard people like to wear them, obviously for work, but also people that are in the hospitality industry, so waitresses, servers, any type of food service where you need to wear a nice pair of black pants. This, I guess, is pretty popular. So these were the columnist boot, and they were a size 14, so a good size, and they flipped almost immediately for $20. Next up is Dress Barn. This was a watercolor type print to it. It was new with tags. This was picked up at the bins. I would not pay up for this brand. Dress Barn does well for me in the vintage stuff, and then also kind of in the modern stuff, as long as the style is still kind of relevant. This one I think is probably more of like a mature type style for, a special occasion, wedding, vacation, something along those lines. It was a 22W and it did go for $20. This is a Calvin Klein unconstructed blazer, so there's no shoulder pads. It's very loose. It's almost like a cardigan. This one was, what size was this? An extra large, and it did go for $28. This is an Ariat top. I don't really pick this brand up anymore, like in women's tops. Men's jeans or women's jeans I will look into and kind of see what the price point is. This was a size large. I've had this forever, and it did finally go for $18. Now we are on to Mercari. This is Rachel Zoe. This one was in excellent condition. It was probably new without tags if I had to guess, but I did put just good. It was a really kind of fun, beachy vacation type top. It came from the bins. Rachel Zoe, and what is that other one that I always find? Rachel Roy. I think those are the two that you see quite a bit at like TJ Maxx, Ross, that kind of stuff. I find this stuff at the bins quite frequently. The linen does great. Pants, I don't know, I haven't really tried that as much as the tops, but the tops always seem to move, especially if they're in good sizes, new with tags. This one was a size large, and it did go for $30. This is a Victoria's Secret bra. It was new with tags, a size 32 triple D. I've had this forever. I've said this before, Victoria's Secret, I have definitely slowed down on pretty much everything. Before, it used to be bras that were new with tags, you could get and flip them pretty quick. The sports bras moved pretty well as long as they were, more modern styles. Even stuff that I have that's new with tags is just sitting. I am not a Victoria's Secret shopper. I'm assuming they probably have really good deals every once in a while, so people might just be buying them, new at the store. I don't know. So I am definitely vetting everything that I'm getting from that brand, even the gold label vintage stuff. Some of that I have is just not moving either. So Victoria's Secret kind of fell off a little bit for me. As you can see, $15 for a brand new bra. Okay, so now we are on to eBay. This was a Talbot's, like teal and pink. It had some embroidery on it, just a really cute top, an extra large petite. This one did end up going for $20.99. These came from my parents' bar. If you're new to the channel, I've been selling stuff that they've had down there. My grandparents used to own a bar, like, I don't even know. I was there when I was a baby, and they had it for quite a while before that. So they had a bar for a really long time. My parents ended up getting a lot of the stuff from that bar. So they have a lot of really cool vintage items. A lot of that we're not selling right now just because it's sentimental to us. But like smaller stuff like this, we have decided to kind of get rid of. These are a pair of like swizzle sticks for a cocktail to mix your drink. They are a play on the words bottoms up. It's two like little butts with legs, and they stick out of your drink. These ended up going for an offer of $6. This is another pair of those Squishmallow from Wicked. I told my mom about it, that I was finding them at Walmart for $3. All the ones I had found, I have sold. So she looked at hers, she didn't find any, and then she went back again and she found a couple, so I'm selling those. This set ended up going for $30 in under a week. These are a pair of Champion pull-on shorts. This came from the place where everything was $1. I'm almost completely out of these, which is good. I'm trying to move all of that stuff now. The set ended up going for $23.80. This was a vintage skirt. What was the brand on this? From George. I don't know if this is the same as the stuff that's at Walmart. The tag looks a little bit different, but it's a animal cheetah type print, has a little ruffle on the bottom, size 14, and this one did go for $18. This is a pair of Y2K American Eagle. I don't really want to say Bermuda, kind of like a cropped utility pant. You can tie it to make it a little bit shorter if you want. These were a size 10. I've had these for so long. When I first kind of started looking into the Y2K stuff to sell, I was kind of going off of like what was popular when I was in middle school, high school, and that was around the Y2K time. And these were really popular, like these cropped utility pants. And I've picked up a couple of them now, and they're just not moving. I don't know if I'm not using the right keywords or if it's just not really, you know, what people want. These finally did go for $20. This also came from my parents' bar. This was 6 tap and cap is what they're called. They're little vintage bottle cap closures. So if you have a bottle, it could be beer, like soda, whatever, you can put it on there and it will close it. These ended up going for an offer of $9.34. So not bad for just 6 little things that were sitting in this Tupperware underneath my parents' bar. This is 90 Degree by Reflex. This came in that JTC or JCT. I will never be able to remember what that company is called. That's another one. I'm trying to just get that stuff out of here. It was not good to begin with. And it did ended up going for an offer of $13.60. This is from the brand Access. I found quite a few Y2K tops from this brand. They seem to do quite a few of like the nylon type feel, baby doll tops. This was a size large, kind of like more of a tropical print to this one, and it did go for an offer of $20. This is another golf brand that I've never heard of before. I found it the same way that I found those other ones, just kind of by feeling through the men's pants. It's Red Vanley. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Never heard of it before. They're pull-on. They don't even have a zipper. They felt like a performance type pants, so I thought I better look it up. It's another one of those brands where they retail pretty high. The sell-through rate is good. These were a size medium, and there were joggers. These ended up going for $34 and sold the same week that I posted them. This is an Alex Evenings dress. This is supposedly being returned. We'll see if they send it back. Was this new with tags? No. So that's always like something that in the back of my mind, just because I know how people are in this world, that I always feel like they're renting it. You know, maybe they used it for a wedding or whatever. I don't think so. I feel like they put in the request to return it pretty quickly after they got it, but we'll see how long it takes for them to return it. That's one issue I have with eBay. They should not have 30 days. I'm pretty sure it's 30 days when they put in the request to return it, to return something. Because they can wear it throughout that entire time and return it to me, you know, especially if it's not new with tags. So we'll see. This one did go for $46.75. This is a great brand to look for, especially if you can find it new with tags for pretty cheap. I always use Mother of the, just for Mother of the Bride, Mother of the Groom. This is a perfect silhouette for that. Next is Premise. This also came from that JTC lot. Another one that I'm just trying to get rid of. It had a puff sleeve, kind of like a neutral tannish type color. And this one did go for $18.70. I just showed this in my Goodwill bins haul. This was a vintage 1984. What was this guy's name? I believe that they're Sprite. Like the little guy's names were Sprite, I believe. He was in the orange one. Pretty decent condition for being that old. And this one did go for $16.14. And this one sold the same week that I listed it. This is Ibacool. I think I'm saying that correctly. I found this brand probably at least a year ago, and it moved very quickly, and I haven't found it since. So I don't know much about the brand. I think they're kind of known for their sun protection. I don't know if it's like a golf brand, athletic brand. This was a size extra, extra large. I believe I got this at the bins, and it did go for $25. Woman Within, this brand, I will get certain items, mainly like the Moo style dresses and the bigger sizes. This was a 2X, just a really pretty kind of dark floral, and this one did go for $19. This was a Dominique like shapewear bra type situation. This one's actually going overseas to London. It was an international sale. Let's see, she did get it for $30. I picked up a couple of these new tags at my local Goodwill for $3.99. I don't know why I always find this brand. I'm assuming it's from like the bridal stores in town, certain sizes or styles that don't move, they must just donate. I have found quite a few over the years that are new with tags and they always move online. Okay, so now we are on to Depop. This was a Meshuggah shirt. It is a metal band, I think from Sweden, Norwegian. I'm not sure. Somewhere not from America, I know that. Let's see. This one I got at Goodwill. I paid $3.99. Some dude or lady, I guess, must have dropped off a bunch of metal shirts and everyone passed by on them. I looked through them. There was like a Lamb of God. This one, I can't remember what the other one was. There was a shirt that I'm surprised is not getting too much interest. It's Suicide Boys, which I wasn't sure who they were. They're actually a rap group. It's two guys that has comps for over $80. No one has been interested in it yet, but I was pretty glad when I found all these shirts together. This one was a size 2X, and it did end up going for my full asking price of $20. This was a Tommy Bahama shirt, I believe silk, extra large. This came from a family friend and a big buyout lot from him. And this did go for $16.50. I think I talked about these. When was this? It must have been in my vlog. I think these teeny tiny shorts are going to be pretty popular this season. I sold 2 of them this week. This was from the brand Vanity. I did price them at $18 because I wasn't quite sure. These were super, super tiny. These were a size 26. Picked these up at the bins. These sold, I'm not even kidding, within 15 minutes of listing on Depop, so I probably could have listed them for a little bit more. This was a White House Black Market dress. It was definitely giving kind of the Y2K 90s goth vibes with the lace detail on it. It was a size 10, picked this up at the bins, and it did go for $30. I showed this in a haul not too long ago. This was Vintage The Limited. It was 100% silk. It almost looked kind of like an older, like patchwork quilt. Let's see, this one did go for $16. This type of style, I'm no longer picking up. This like kind of hippie bohemian pants that are wide leg, that have prints on them. They just sit for me forever. These, I couldn't even tell you how long I've had them. I know I got them at the bins. They were a size small to medium. There was no size tag, and they did go for $18. This was an embroidered vest from Northcrest. I like picking these up because they can kind of go a couple different ways, kind of Renaissance, kind of cottagecore, also maybe a little bit fairy. This was, let's see, a size large, and it did go for $22. This was a pair of vintage 90s silver tabs. These were the loose fit, and they were a size 7 short. I think I got these at Savers. For some reason, they only had them marked for like $4, which is crazy because normally you can't find anything in that store for less than like 10. So I knew I had to pick them up just because they were silver tab and they were the 90s loose fit. I was a little hesitant on the color, but it seemed to do okay, and they did go for $21.60. This was a vintage Halloween shirt. I've had this one for quite a while. Most vintage Halloween tops I will pick up just because they always move. Not always for a lot. This one didn't have like the greatest graphic on it because it was pretty, small of a graphic, but it did go for my full asking price of $23. Then the last item to sell this week was from Karen Kane. This brand I've been doing pretty well with for style-based pickups. I feel like they kind of had like a little grungy moment in their tops. This was a size large. It had a really cool print. It was almost like a grungy, like tree zebra type print. I don't know how to explain it. Long sleeved, and this one did go for $18. So going into next week, which is already like partially the way through when I'm filming this, I do have a sale or a coupon running on eBay for 18%. I had been doing 15, but I thought, you know what, let's just do 18 and see what happens. On Depop, today is Thursday, I did just put some older items, some more Y2K tops that aren't getting a lot of interest, and anything else I'm just trying to kind of move over there at 40% off. We'll see. I'm only going to have it go from, let's see, Thursday night, probably till Saturday morning, and then I'll remove the discount. I'm sure I'll get a bunch of other offers on top of that, which I will more than likely decline, but we'll see if anybody picks anything up there for 40% off. Other than that, everything will be as normal, still listing the same amount. Thrifting has been pretty good. I will have a couple thrift haul videos coming up. Let me know, do you guys like thrift haul videos? I don't mind making them. I just know some people don't like watching them because it's not like a what sold, so you don't really know for sure that the things are selling. It's just what the person's picking up. So let me know if you guys would like to see thrift hauls. And then my other question is, let me know who you guys are watching on YouTube. I'm looking to find some more people to watch. Some of the people I've watched for a long time just are not making as much content as they used to. So I'm kind of like falling off of them. I prefer, I don't want to say smaller creators, but I'm kind of over the big creators that have, 300,000 plus subscribers. At this point, it's just like, look at all this stuff I bought and this is how much money I'm gonna make because I'm a whatnot seller, and this is just, I don't want to see that. Or I'm not a huge fan of the ones that go to the rummage sales or garage sales, especially if they are knowing they're gonna get a whole bunch of money for stuff and then they still ask for deals. That just really irritates me. I feel like it gives a bad name to resellers. So none of that. Maybe more stuff that is either entertaining or you're learning something from them. That is kind of what I would prefer. So drop their names below so I can check them out. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!